There is something inside your refrigerator quietly draining money out of your kitchen. Not always a broken seal, not a dead thermostat, not some dramatic mechanical failure you can point to with a flashlight. Sometimes the real problem is more invisible than that. It is the environment your food lives in after the door closes. And once you understand that, you stop seeing spoiled groceries as bad luck. You start seeing them as biology, chemistry, and design working against you every single day. The average American family of 4 loses about $1,500 a year to uneaten food, and USDA says roughly 30 to 40% of the US food supply is wasted. That is not a small household annoyance, that is a system-wide leak of money, nutrition, labor, and time. Most people are told this is a behavior problem. Plan better, shop smarter, stop forgetting leftovers. And yes, habits matter. But that explanation is incomplete, because produce does not simply go bad because time passes. Inside a refrigerator, ripening, moisture loss, microbial growth, and chemical signaling are still happening. USDA storage guidance makes this brutally clear. Refrigerators are not uniform environments. Colder zones sit deeper in the cabinet, warmer zones sit near the door, and ethylene-producing fruits should be kept as far as possible from ethylene-sensitive fruits and vegetables. In other words, your fridge is not a pause button. It is an active biological environment. And if you store food the wrong way, the clock moves faster than you think. Welcome to Buried Fixes. The molecule at the center of this story is ethylene. Invisible, odorless, powerful. It is a natural plant hormone that drives ripening and senescence. One ripe apple, one soft pear, one overripe avocado can change the atmosphere around nearby produce. Leafy greens wilt faster. Sensitive vegetables age harder. Texture slips. Flavor collapses. The viral version of this story says there is one ancient material that can stop all of this almost by magic. That material is copper. And here is where things get interesting. Because the copper part of the story is not nonsense. But it is also not as simple as the internet makes it sound. Human beings have trusted copper for a very long time. Reviews of the historical record note that ancient Egyptians were already describing practical antimicrobial uses of copper around 2600 BC, including copper vessels for water. They did not know about ions. They did not know about cell membranes. They did not have microbiology. What they had was observation. Some materials seemed to help preserve cleanliness. Some materials seemed to resist contamination better than others. Copper earned a reputation that survived for millennia because people could see its effect before they could explain its mechanism. That is how a lot of real knowledge begins. First, the pattern, then the science. Much later, the full explanation. Modern science did eventually catch up. Reviews and studies on metallic copper surfaces show strong antimicrobial behavior, often described as contact killing. Bacteria, yeasts, and some viruses can be rapidly inactivated on copper surfaces, and multiple studies report large reductions in microbial contamination compared with control surfaces. That part is real. It is one reason copper has been studied for hospitals and high-touch environments. So when people say copper is biologically active, they are not inventing a fairy tale. Copper can matter. The problem is what happens next in the viral storytelling. Because a true statement at the beginning does not automatically validate every dramatic claim that follows it. Here is the critical correction. In plant biology, ethylene perception is not blocked by copper in the simple way many social media versions suggest. In fact, the ethylene receptor itself requires a copper ion cofactor for ethylene binding. That means copper is part of the receptor story at a molecular level, not a household miracle switch that automatically shuts ripening down. In post-harvest science and floriculture, the better-known inhibitors of ethylene action are compounds such as silver thiosulfate and 1-MCP. Those are the names that repeatedly appear in the literature when scientists talk about slowing ethylene responses in flowers, fruits, and vegetables. So yes, the ethylene problem is real. Yes, modern storage systems work hard to manage it, but the strongest published support is not for the idea that a loose, bare copper coil inside a home crisper drawer is a universally proven fix. That does not make copper irrelevant. It makes the truth more technical. There are published examples of copper-based or copper-modified ethylene scavenging materials in engineered post-harvest systems and active packaging research. But those systems are designed materials, often combined with supports, coatings, or adsorption structures built specifically to remove or manage ethylene. That is very different from saying a piece of household copper wire in your refrigerator has already been validated as a standalone consumer solution. The difference matters, because one claim is supported by research on engineered materials. The other is still mostly living in anecdote, extrapolation, and viral storytelling. And yet the internet version catches fire because it touches something emotionally true. People sense that modern food systems often put convenience, cost, and repeat purchasing ahead of true longevity in the home. Not necessarily through a single grand conspiracy, often through ordinary economics. Refrigerators are designed to be affordable, durable, mass-producible, and safe. Grocery systems are designed around turnover. Packaging is designed around shipping, display, and shelf presence. Then the consumer gets handed the final burden. Organize it better, store it better, use it faster, waste less. That is why the real secret is colder than the viral headline. The science of preservation exists. The consumer version of it is usually fragmented, simplified, or sold back to you in disposable form. So what actually works inside a normal home? Start with the parts that are well supported. Keep the refrigerator at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Use the colder interior zones, not the door, for the foods most vulnerable to spoilage. Separate ethylene producers from ethylene-sensitive produce. Bananas, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and dry onions should not be refrigerated in the first place, according to USDA guidance. Stop treating all produce as if it belongs in the same drawer under the same conditions. It does not. Some items need colder air. Some need humidity control. Some need distance from ripening fruit more than anything else. When people say their produce mysteriously dies early, the mystery often begins with placement. Wrong zone, wrong neighbor, wrong assumptions. Now let us talk honestly about the copper coil idea. As an experiment, people are drawn to it because it is cheap, simple, and built on a material with real antimicrobial credentials. That is why it feels convincing. But if you present it as settled science, you go too far. The responsible version is this. Copper surfaces have real antimicrobial effects. Ethylene management is crucial in food storage. Engineered copper-based scavenging materials do exist in research. But a bare copper wire in a home refrigerator should be treated as a hypothesis people are testing, not a miracle officially established by the strongest household use evidence. That distinction does not weaken the story. It strengthens it. Because real credibility is not built by shouting harder. It is built by knowing exactly where the science is strong, where it is suggestive, and where it is still incomplete. And maybe that is the deeper lesson here. The enemy was never just mold, never just forgetfulness, never just a bad shopping list. The enemy is invisible acceleration, ethylene drifting across a shelf, temperature changing from back panel to door, moisture where it should not be, dry air where it should not be, bacteria where you do not see them, Modern households lose huge amounts of food not because every consumer is careless, but because food remains biologically alive longer than people realize, and the rules of preserving it are more precise than most kitchens are taught. The old civilizations noticed pieces of that truth through observation. Modern science explains more of it in detail, and the average shopper is still left to discover it one wilted bag of greens at a time. So, no, the cleanest conclusion is not, a $3 copper wire solves everything. The stronger conclusion is this: a few dollars of knowledge can save far more than a few dollars of groceries. Understand ethylene. Understand zones inside the fridge. Understand which produce should be separated and which should not even be refrigerated. Understand that copper is scientifically interesting, but not a magic amulet. Once you learn that, the refrigerator stops being a cold box and becomes what it really is: a biological control chamber, crude but powerful, where small decisions create expensive consequences. And once you see that, you cannot unsee it. If you made it this far, you now understand more about this topic than most people ever will. Subscribe and share this with someone who deserves to know the truth behind why food really disappears faster than it should. We uncover what was forgotten, overlooked, or intentionally buried. Subscribe now and help us keep these ideas alive.